My name is Chidinma, and I am 17 years old. I live in Owerri, a busy town in Imo State. One day, my friend Amaka told me about a man who was very rich and kind. His name was Uncle Festus. She said he lived in Onitsha, and he always helped young girls who needed money for school. Chidinma, let's go and visit him, Amaka said with excitement. He can help us too. At first, I didn't want to go. My mother always warned me, do not follow people you don't know well. But Amaka begged and begged. I finally said yes. We entered a bus at Owerri Park early on Saturday morning and traveled to Onitsha. The road was noisy and full of people selling fruits and gala. After 2 hours, we reached Onitsha. Uncle Festus sent a Kiki tricycle to pick us up from Upper Iweka. When we got to his house, my eyes opened wide. His house was big and shiny, like the ones I see in Lagos on TV. Uncle Festus came out smiling. He was tall and he wore a gold chain. You are welcome, my daughters, he said kindly. Come inside and eat first. We were happy and entered the house. The living room was cool, and there was a big TV showing Nollywood films. Uncle Festus gave us rice and chicken with a big bottle of Fanta. After eating, I started feeling sleepy, even though it was just 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I looked at Amaka and saw she was also sleepy. My eyes started to close, and I didn't understand why. I heard Uncle Festus laughing softly as everything around me became dark. When I woke up, it was already dark. The room was not the same sitting room where we ate. This place was small and had no window. I looked around and saw Amaka sleeping on the floor beside me. Amaka! Amaka! Wake up! I whispered, shaking her. Slowly, she opened her eyes and looked confused. Where are we? She asked, sitting up quickly. I don't know, I said, my heart beating fast. This is not the room we were in before. We tried to open the door, but it was locked. We knocked and shouted, please open the door. We want to go home. But nobody answered. I felt tears coming out of my eyes. I remembered my mother's warning again, and I wished I had listened to her. After some time, we heard footsteps. Uncle Festus opened the door and looked at us with a strange smile. You girls are awake now, he said. Just rest here tonight. Tomorrow we will talk. No, sir. Please, we want to go home now, I cried. But Uncle Festus just laughed and closed the door again. Clack. He locked it from outside. I looked at Amaka. We were so scared. We hugged each other and started praying. God, please help us. We want to go home safe. Suddenly, I remembered something. Before we left Owerri, my mother had given me a small phone, and she said, keep this in your pocket in case of any problem. I checked my pocket quickly, and yes, the phone was still there. I showed it to Amaka, and she said, quickly call your mummy. My hands were shaking, but I pressed my mum's number. The phone rang once, twice, then she picked. Mummy, I whispered fast. We are in trouble. Please help us. Where are you? What happened? My mum asked, sounding very worried. I told her everything quickly, how we were in Onitsha and what happened. Stay calm, my daughter. Keep the phone hidden. I am coming to get you, my mum said. We sat down, holding the phone tight, and waited. After talking to my mum, we sat very still. My heart was beating boom, boom, boom like a drum. We didn't know what Uncle Festus would do next, but we just kept praying. About 20 minutes later, the door opened again. This time, Uncle Festus was not smiling. His face looked angry. Who were you talking to on the phone? He shouted. My body started shaking. Nobody, sir. I lied quickly, hiding the phone behind me. But he didn't believe me. He came closer and tried to grab the phone from me. I held it tight and screamed, leave me alone. Suddenly, we heard a loud noise outside the house. Bang, bang, bang. Someone was knocking hard on the gate. Police, open this gate now, a loud voice shouted. Uncle Festus looked scared. He ran out of the room quickly and slammed the door, locking us in again. We heard him running around the house. Amaka, the police are here. My mummy really came, I said with tears of joy. We heard more shouting outside. After a few minutes, the door to our room burst open. 2 police officers and my mum rushed in. "Mummy!" I cried and ran into her arms. Amaka was also crying. "It's okay, my child. You are safe now," my mum said, holding us tight. The police arrested Uncle Festus and took him away in handcuffs. Neighbors came out and everyone was talking about what happened. That night, we went back to Owerri with my mum. I was so tired but very happy to be safe. When we got home, my mum looked at me and said, "Chidinma, you see why I always tell you. Never trust someone you don't know, no matter how nice they look." I nodded and promised, "I will never make that mistake again, Mummy." Amaka and I sat down and started thinking about everything that happened. We knew we were lucky to be alive, but something strange was still in my mind. How did Uncle Festus know we were coming? And why did Amaka trust him so much? That night, as I was about to sleep, my phone beeped. It was a message, but from a strange number. It said, "You escaped this time, but be careful." Smiling face with horns. I stared at the message, my heart beating fast again. I stared at the message, my hands shaking. Who could have sent this? I whispered to myself. I quickly showed the message to my mum. She frowned and said, "This is serious. We need to tell the police tomorrow." Amaka was sleeping in our house that night because her parents were still at work when everything happened. I woke her up and showed her the message too. Her eyes opened wide. "Ah, who is that? Do you think it's Uncle Festus?" "I don't know," I said quietly, "but I'm really scared." My mum told us to switch off the phone and try to sleep, but I couldn't sleep well that night. I kept thinking about everything. The next morning, we went to the police station. I showed the police the strange message. The officer looked at it and said, "This number is not a normal number. We will investigate it. But you girls must be very careful now." We thanked the police and went back home. My mum told me to stay inside the house and not go anywhere without her. 1 week passed. Things started to feel normal again. Amaka and I went back to school, and people in our class kept asking us, "Is it true you were kidnapped?" Some people didn't even believe the story, but we didn't care. We were just happy to be safe. But one afternoon, as I was coming back from school with Amaka, something strange happened. We were walking near Douglas Road when a black car slowly drove past us. The window came down a little bit, and I saw a man looking at us. He had dark sunglasses on, and he smiled a creepy smile. Then he said, "Chidinma and Amaka, we will meet again." My heart almost stopped. Before I could say anything, the car drove off fast and disappeared down the road. Amaka grabbed my hand. "Did you hear that? He knows our names," she cried. We ran all the way home, our hearts beating fast. When we told my mum, she called the police again. Now, I don't know who is after us or why, but I know one thing: I will never, ever visit someone I don't know again. And this time, I'm ready for whatever comes next. The police started coming to check on us every day. They told my mum, "We are watching the area closely. Don't worry." But Amaka and I were still very scared. Every time we heard a car horn or saw a strange man, we would jump. One evening, while we were eating dinner, my mum's phone rang. It was the police. They said, "Madam, we have found something. Can you and Chidinma come to the station tomorrow?" We were curious but also a bit scared. The next morning, we got ready and went to the police station. The officer showed us a picture. "Do you know this man?" he asked. I looked at the photo. My eyes widened. "Yes, that's the man from the black car," I said quickly. The officer nodded. "His name is Mr. Cunnell. We discovered something shocking. He and Uncle Festus were working together. They belong to a bad group that tricks young girls." My mum gasped. "God will punish them." The officer continued, "We also found out that someone close to you gave them your details." I looked at Amaka. "Close to us? Who?" The officer looked serious. "We are still investigating. But be very careful, especially with people who ask too many questions or want to take you places." We thanked the police and went back home. That night I couldn't sleep. My mind was full of questions. Who could have told those bad men about us? I kept thinking. The next day at school, Amaka and I sat down during break time, talking about everything. Just then, our classmate Sandra came to sit near us. "So, how is your rich friend in Onitsha?" Sandra asked with a smile. I looked at her closely. "How did you know we went to Onitsha?" I asked. Sandra laughed. Amaka told me before you people traveled. She said you girls were going to meet one big man for help." Amaka's face turned red. I only told Sandra because she asked where we were going," she said quickly. My eyes became wide. "Amaka, that's how they knew. Maybe Sandra told someone else." Sandra stood up fast. "Me? I didn't tell anyone," but her face looked strange. I felt my stomach turn. Was Sandra hiding something? Right then I knew the mystery was not over yet, and the real truth was still hiding somewhere close to us. I looked at Sandra carefully. "Are you sure you didn't tell anyone?" I asked again. Sandra crossed her arms. "I said I didn't tell anyone. Why are you blaming me?" But something didn't feel right. Amaka looked worried and said, "Sandra, please, if you told someone, just say it. We are in danger." Sandra's eyes moved left and right. She bit her lip and stayed quiet for a moment. Then she whispered, "Okay, I told my cousin. But I didn't know it was a bad thing." "Your cousin?" I asked. "Who is your cousin?" Sandra looked down. "His name is Cunnel." My mouth opened in shock. "The same Cunnel the police told us about?" Sandra nodded slowly. "Yes, but I didn't know he was a bad person. He always helps our family. When I told him about you and Amaka going to meet a rich man in Onitsha, he just smiled and said he hoped you girls would get help." Amaka and I looked at each other. "Sandra, this is very serious," Amaka said. "Your cousin is one of the people chasing us." Sandra started crying. "I didn't know. I'm so sorry." We told the teacher and the school called the police. When the police came, Sandra told them everything. The police officer said, "You did a bad thing by telling your cousin, but you are helping us now. We will try to catch him." That evening, as we were going home, my phone rang again. It was the strange number from before. This time the message said, "You girls are smart, but it's not over. I am watching." I showed my mom and she quickly called the police. The officer said, "Don't worry. We are tracking the number. We will catch them soon." At night, I couldn't sleep well again. I kept thinking, what if they come back? What do they really want from us? But deep inside, I felt stronger. I looked at Amaka and said, "No matter what happens, we will not give up. We must stay brave." Amaka nodded. "Yes, Chidinma, we will be brave." But little did we know, the biggest surprise was still coming. The next morning, we woke up early because the police told us to come and help them with something. When we got to the station, they showed us a big map. "Look here," the officer said, pointing to the map. "We found where Mr. Cunnel is hiding. It's in a small village near Nui. We are planning to catch him soon." Amaka and I were happy but still scared. "Will he try to hurt us again?" I asked. The officer smiled kindly. "Don't worry, we are protecting you." We went home, and my mum said, "Chidinma, you and Amaka will not go out alone again until everything is okay." We agreed. But that night, something strange happened. Around 9 p.m., while we were watching TV, we heard a soft knock on our door. Knock, knock, knock. My mum stood up and said, "Who is that?" No answer. She asked again, louder this time, "Who is there?" Still no answer. My heart started beating fast. My mum quickly locked the door and called the police. Suddenly, we heard footsteps running away from our compound. "Jesus!" Amaka shouted. "They are here again." The police came fast and searched everywhere, but they didn't find anyone. "This means they are watching your house," the officer said. "We need to be extra careful now." That night, we could not sleep at all. Every small noise made us jump. I kept praying, "God, please keep us safe." The next day at school, something even stranger happened. A new girl came to our class. Her name was Ada. She looked nice and friendly, but when she came to sit near us, she said something that made my heart jump. With a smile, Ada whispered, "So, you are Chidinma and Amaka." I've heard a lot about you. Amaka and I looked at each other, very surprised. How do you know us? I asked carefully. Ada just smiled and said, Oh, everyone knows your story now. You are famous. But deep in my heart, I felt something was not right. There was something strange about the way Ada looked at us. That day after school, I told my mom everything. My mom said, Be careful around that new girl. Don't trust her too fast. I nodded, but my mind was full of questions again. Is Ada just a normal girl, or is she part of this big problem too? As I lay in bed that night, I stared at the ceiling and whispered, This story is not over yet. And deep down, I knew something big was coming soon. The next few days, Ada stayed close to Amaka and me in school. She was always smiling and asking many questions. So, what really happened at that man's house? She asked one day during break. I looked at Amaka. We didn't want to talk too much. It's a long story, I said quietly. But Ada didn't stop. Did you see anything strange? Did he hurt you? Are the police still looking for him? She kept asking and asking. Amaka frowned and whispered to me, This girl is talking too much. I don't trust her. I agreed. Something about Ada felt off. One afternoon, after school, I was walking home alone because Amaka's mom picked her up early. As I walked near the junction, I saw Ada standing under a tree, talking to a man. I stopped and hid behind a small shop. I watched them closely. The man looked very familiar. And then I remembered. It was Mr. Cunnell. My heart almost jumped out of my chest. I heard Ada say, Don't worry, I'm getting close to them. They trust me. Cunnell laughed and said, Good, we will get them soon. I covered my mouth with my hand. I couldn't believe my eyes and ears. As soon as they walked away, I ran home as fast as I could. Mummy, Mummy, I shouted, bursting into the house. Ada is working with Mr. Cunnell. I saw them together. My mum's eyes opened wide. Are you sure? Yes, Mummy. I heard them talking. My mum quickly called the police. The officer said, Good job, Chidinma. Now we have more proof. We will catch them soon. But please be very careful. Ada might try to trick you. That night, I told Amaka everything. She was so shocked. And we thought she was just a normal new girl. The next day at school, Ada came to sit with us again. She smiled like nothing happened. Hi, friends, she said. How are you today? I forced a smile. We are fine. But deep down, I was watching her closely. I knew she was hiding something big, and I was ready to find out the truth. Little did I know, the real danger was getting closer and closer. That same day, after school, Ada suddenly said, Chidinma, Amaka, do you want to come to my house? My mummy made jollof rice and fried chicken. It will be fun. Amaka looked at me. I could see she was thinking the same thing I was thinking. This was a trap. I smiled at Ada and said, Okay, but we need to tell our parents first. Ada quickly said, No need. We will not stay long. But I shook my head. No, my mum will be angry if I don't tell her. Ada looked a bit worried but kept smiling. All right, tell her fast. I stepped aside and quickly called my mum. I told her everything. My mum said, Good girl. Tell Ada you are coming, but don't worry. We are coming with the police. I went back to Ada and said, My mum said it's okay. Let's go. As we were walking to Ada's house, I felt my heart beating fast. But I remembered the police were close by. We got to a quiet street, and Ada stopped in front of a big gate. She knocked twice and the gate opened slowly. Inside, we saw Mr. Cunnell waiting. Welcome, girls, he said with a wicked smile. Suddenly, police officers jumped out from behind cars and walls. You are under arrest, they shouted. Cunnell tried to run, but the police caught him. Ada started crying and shouting, I didn't mean to do anything bad. Cunnell made me do it. The police took both of them away. Amaka and I hugged each other tightly. We are safe now, Amaka said with tears in her eyes. My mum came and hugged me too. I'm so proud of you, my daughter. You were so smart and brave. That evening we sat down at home, feeling peaceful at last. No more strange messages. No more scary people. The next day at school, everyone was talking about what happened. Amaka and I told our classmates, always tell your parents where you are going, and never follow strangers, even if they look nice. Our teacher also gave us a big talk. She said, the world has good people and bad people. You must be careful and wise. Always listen to your parents, and never let greed or fun make you forget safety. Never trust strangers, no matter how kind or rich they look. Always tell your parents where you are going, and be careful of friends who ask too many personal questions. It's better to be safe than sorry.